For tens of thousands of years, human history went completely unrecorded. Without written languages or paper, we are largely blind to how our ancient ancestors lived, thought, and socialized. We call this silent era prehistory. But this map of the Indian subcontinent reveals a dense cluster of prehistoric sites hidden in the Central Highlands. The first major breakthrough here was made by archaeologist Archibald Carlyle in 1867, predating the famous discoveries at Altamira in Spain by over a decade. The true scale of this landscape was realized in 1957 when V.S. Wakonker ventured into the Vindhya Hills and documented the Bhimbetka rock shelters. The site is massive. Spread across 10 square kilometers, it contains over 800 individual shelters, with more than 500 of them acting as canvases for ancient art. These aren't just crude sketches, they are a preserved visual record of a world we thought was lost. They invite a closer look at a staggering paradox: how these delicate colors survived thousands of years of exposure, and what specific stories they were intended to tell. On the surface, the survival of these paintings makes no sense. These walls have been exposed to tens of thousands of years of monsoon rains, intense tropical heat, and constant erosion. The durability is the result of the raw materials. Early artists ground up natural minerals to create their pigments: hematite for deep reds, chalcedony for greens, and limestone for white. They mixed these powders with water and organic binders, like tree resin or animal fat, to create a thick, workable paste. But the key to their longevity is a chemical reaction. The mineral pigments reacted with the natural oxides on the surface of the stone, essentially fusing the artwork into the rock's molecular structure. By utilizing the stone's own chemistry, these early artists effectively baked their presence into the landscape, ensuring their work would outlast the very cultures that created it. In the earliest layers, from the Upper Paleolithic, the focus is on scale. We see massive, linear depictions of individual animals, isolated giants like tigers, rhinos, and elephants. As the timeline moves into the Mesolithic period, the art undergoes a significant shift. The figures become smaller, but the narrative complexity increases. These Mesolithic panels are crowded with human figures. We see hunting parties carrying barbed spears, women preparing food, and groups gathered for what appear to be communal celebrations. The relationship with nature is also more nuanced. While some scenes show the clear terror of being chased by predators, others depict animals with a sense of grace and tenderness. This transition from the study of isolated beasts to the depiction of group activities suggests a human consciousness that was becoming increasingly focused on the shared experience of community. There are strange patterns in where this art is located. Many of the most intricate paintings are found high up on ceilings or in deep, unlivable crevices that would have been incredibly difficult to reach. There is the practice of superimposition. Instead of seeking out empty walls, artists repeatedly chose to paint directly over older work. At Bhimbetka, researchers have found panels up to 20 layers deep, with distinct generations of art stacked one on top of the other. Because these spaces were often impractical for living, archaeologists believe the act of painting was itself a ritual, a way for early humans to exert a perceived influence or magical control over the animals they relied on for survival. These specific shelters served as some of humanity's first dedicated spaces for communal ritual, where the walls functioned as a bridge between the physical world and the human imagination. Most of what we know about prehistory comes from the physical remains of survival: stone tools, animal bones, and shards of pottery. Those artifacts teach us about the mechanics of the past, how early humans hunted, what they ate, and how they physically occupied a space. But a painting of figures joined hand in hand for a dance tells us something those tools cannot. It provides a direct link to the inner life of our ancestors, their fears, their joys, and their social bonds. These minerals fused to the rock represent the most expressive record we have of the prehistoric mind. They show us that while their tools were primitive, their emotional lives were already deeply recognizable. Ultimately, these sites prove that the human drive to tell a story and leave a mark on the world is as old as the species itself.